is we're going to shift. And you're going to hear a little bit of the Caitanya-bhāgavata. And when they get on, when they put me on here, well, the organizer's not here yet. Okay. So I don't know how they shift me to the view. Let's see what the view is. Full screen? No? No, that didn't work. Exit full screen. I'm so confused here. I am technologically challenged, so I don't know what I'm doing here.
We see you, Maharaj.
What?
We see you, Maharaj. Yeah.
Okay, you can all see me, right? But I want the full gallery screen here. Let me see if I can figure out.
Usually if you go up right of your screen, there might be something you could hit. It says gallery or full screen.
And we'll put the gallery here. And then you can just see the audience and they can all say hello to you. Haribol. 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 Narada, say Haribol. All right. Okay, I'm you can see I'm giving class here. Let me just start. I'll find it in a second. Okay. All right. Take a second here. Okay. What's that? Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-lila something. I think it's Antya-lila 4. Okay. Caitanya-bhāgavata. Let me just find the spot where I am. One second. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So it's text 470. Okay, the Lord said, these opulences are not possible for an ordinary human being. I think Advaita Ācārya must be Maheśa. Okay, I'm just going to begin because I already said so. Okay, now I have the full screen. This is an interesting part of Caitanya-bhāgavata. Lord Chaitanya is now in Shantipur. He had just taken sannyas. He hadn't yet settled in Puri. And all the devotees from Navadvip went to Shantipur. And it happened to be the Avirbhav Tithi, the birth of Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri was the guru of Advaita Ācārya. And Advaita Ācārya was the godbrother of Ishvara Puri. And Ishvara Puri was the guru of Lord Chaitanya. So it was not his, Madhavendra Puri was not just a godbrother of his guru, he was the guru of his guru. And for Advaita Ācārya, it was his guru. So when Madhavendra Puri came, it happened to be his appearance day, and they had a festival. And it was a very, very opulent festival. Because our conception of bhakti is when you have love, you offer the best. That's why in bhakti, food and flowers are very important. Because they're the best vehicles to express love. So wherever there's bhakti, there's beautiful decorations, and there's beautiful prasadam offered to Krishna. So it was an incredible festival. And the other thing that was really noted about this festival is how important they are for the spiritual life of devotees, especially grihastas, because festivals given a lot of opportunity for service. I remember this year I had my Vyasa Puja. Of course, for the spiritual master, Vyasa Puja is not worship of him. It's worship of the disciplic succession. And the guru first worships his guru, showing the disciples how to worship the lineage. So I remember we didn't really have a big celebration during COVID. We had something, but this was kind of special. Last October, because the devotees really hadn't been together in a long time. And I remember we had this one hall belonging to these nice devotees, doctors. And they had this big hall. And they were so gracious to us, they gave us this big hall. So some of the devotees came the day before. And there were even some newer devotees. And they were making garlands and decorations. And there was a certain ecstasy. And what was the ecstasy? Bhakti is best expressed in seva, which is loving responsiveness to God through the faculties of the mind, body, and words. But this gives the opportunity for the body. And in devotional service, you put your body where you want your mind to go. So Practical service is just so important.
Поэтому практическое служение настолько необходимо.
So on these festival days,
И на этих фестивалях
everyone has service,
у всех есть возможность послужить.
especially when there are big festivals.
Особенно если это большие фестивали.
So many people cooking
Столько людей готовят,
and flower decorations.
это украшает.
So Lord Chaitanya, he just started to walk around
Поэтому Господь Чайтанья, он просто ходил от одного к
and he
другому.
saw rooms of spices
И
and
он увидел целые комнаты полные специй.
wells of ghee.
Там описание, что целые колодцы наполнены
And he
гием.
was just astounded.
И он был поражен.
And some devotees were given the service of worshiping the other devotees that came.
Некоторым преданным было поручено поклоняться преданным, которые только приехали.
But the opulence of this festival was at such a level,
Но богатство этого праздника было на таком высочайшем уровне,
organized from the heart of Advaita Ācārya,
потому что организатор был сердце Адвайта Ācārya.
that Lord Chaitanya concluded
И Господь Чайтанья пришел к выводу, смотря на все это,
that he must be Lord Shiva.
что он сам Господь Шива Адвайта Ācārya,
He's not an ordinary person.
что это необычный человек.
And we know that Advaita Ācārya has a very special position.
И мы знаем, что у Адвайта Ācārya действительно очень особое положение.
He's not just an ordinary living entity,
Он не просто живое существо,
but he's something exalted, Sada Shiva.
он Садашива.
So that's what Lord Chaitanya is thinking now.
Это то, о чем думает Господь Чайтанья.
He says,
И он говорит,
these opulences are not possible for an ordinary human being.
он говорит, такое богатство для обычного живого существа немыслимо.
How can a human being possess such opulence?
Как живое существо может обладать такими богатствами?
Only Mahadev
Только
possesses
Бог,
such opulence.
у него есть такое богатство.
I can understand that Advaita Ācārya is an incarnation of Maheśa.
Поэтому я могу из этого заключить, что Адвайта Ācārya является экспансией Махеши.
Shiva, Mahesh, Mahadev is the same.
Шива, Махеш и Махадев — это
The Lord smiled as he repeatedly spoke in this way.
повторяя одно и то же.
In this way, Mahaprabhu indirectly glorified the position of Advaita.
И таким образом Махапрабху, он косвенно прославил положение Адвайта
A
Ācārya.
pious person accepts this truth with great pleasure.
Благочестивый человек, он воспринимает эту истину с великим удовольствием.
Advaita is like the incarnation of fire
Адвайта, он как будто экспансия огня.
for anyone who is faithless
Для тех, кто не верит
and disrespects the words of Mahaprabhu.
и неуважительно относится к словам Махапрабху.
Although Advaita is as cooling as millions of moons,
Несмотря на то, что Адвайта, он может успокаивать как миллионы лун,
he's like the fire of destruction
он как огонь уничтожения
for persons averse to Lord
для
Chaitanya.
тех, кто идет против Господа.
Now, I explained this analogy before,
Я уже этот пример объяснял раньше.
and I thought of the analogy myself
И сам о нем думал, и сам думал о примере, который можно привести.
because he's described as cooling as the moon,
Потому что Адвайту описывает как тот, кто охлаждает,
and at the same time, like fire of destruction for persons against Lord Chaitanya.
уничтожение по отношению к тем, кто против Господа.
So I thought how the same thing
Я подумал, как одна и та же вещь
could have two opposite effects,
может иметь два противоположных свойства.
not dependent on the thing,
И эти свойства не зависят от самой вещи,
but dependent on how you deal with it.
а зависят от того, как ее используют.
And this is the analogy I thought of.
И это пример, который я подумал.
When you're on a sailboat
Например, когда вы находитесь на лодке
and you're going north
и следуете по направлению на север,
and you have a north wind,
и ветер попутный.
it's so pleasant.
Приятно, да?
You're just floating down the
Вы
river
просто плывете по реке, и она сама вас несет.
and it's very effortless.
Никаких усилий прилагать не стоит.
But if you're going south,
Но если вам нужен на юг,
that same wind
тот же самый ветер,
is so much trouble.
он столько неприятностей вам приносит.
This is an analogy I use to explain what it's like being in Vrindavan.
И это пример, который я приводил, чтобы объяснить, что значит быть в Вриндаване.
I was just in Govardhan for, I don't know, about 5 weeks.
Я на Говардхане как раз был недавно.
And now I'm here in Audarya Dham.
А сейчас я нахожусь в Аударья-даме.
And I understand why it's better for grihastas to live in Mayapur.
И сразу я понимаю, почему для грехаста лучше жить в Майяпуре.
Vrindavan is wonderful,
Вриндаван замечательно.
but you have to intensely move in the direction of Krishna.
Но там необходимо интенсивно двигаться по направлению к Кришне.
And then it's like, wow. But that's hard to do
Но это сложно.
all the time,
Сложно постоянно.
unless you're a really intense sadhu.
Прилагать такие усилия очень сложно, если вы не являетесь действительно садху.
So Mayapur is Audarya Dham.
А Майяпур это Аударья-дама.
It's a little bit more merciful,
И немного более милостив,
and therefore it's easier for people.
и легче для людей.
My realization.
Это то, что мне кажется.
And actually, I was speaking with Devamrita Swami the other day,
Я недавно разговаривала с Дhanurdhara Swami,
and he asked, "What's your realization?" Because he's so much hankering to come to Mayapur.
он так сильно хочет приехать в Майяпур, и поэтому спрашиваю, ну какие реализации у тебя в Майяпуре?
And I was expressing, I'm in Mayapur,
И я ему рассказывала, я в Майяпуре,
and how nice it is.
как это здорово здесь.
And then I explained the same point, but Vrindavan is heavy. He said, "What do you mean
И
heavy?"
я ему рассказывала, ну во Вриндаване
He said,
тепло,
"Everyone,
почему?
Vrindavan's so sweet."
Все говорят, Вриндаван, там так сладко.
So I said, "Well, this is my realization."
Я ему тогда сказала, это то моя реализация.
Prabhupada said about Vrindavan,
Прабхупада сказала о Вриндаване
3 days
3 дня
or 3 years.
или 3 года.
So I said, you try to understand, what does that mean?
И я все пытался понять, что он имел в виду.
People come and I lead pilgrimages in Vrindavan,
Люди приезжали раньше, и я всегда водил паломников по
and
Вриндавану.
I keep the people fully engaged.
И я пытался, чтобы они были заняты 24 часа.
And I know Raghunath takes new groups to Vrindavan
Я знаю, Рагнат, мой ученик, он приводит новых людей, привозит их в Вриндаван
for 2 days.
на 2 дня всего.
And it's ecstasy. He keeps them fully engaged.
Полный экстаз, они полностью заняты эти 2 дня.
But once you say,
Но если
now I'm going to live here,
вы начинаете, скажете, сейчас я сюда перееду,
then Krishna says
а Кришна вам скажет
to himself,
себе, самому себе скажет,
are you here to please Radha and Krishna?
вы здесь для того, чтобы удовлетворить Радху и Кришну,
Or are you here for another reason?
или по другой причине.
And if you're here for another reason,
И если вы здесь по другой причине,
then Krishna will test you.
тогда Кришна будет посылать испытания.
Things will be difficult.
Вещи будут сложные.
And you have to say, no, I'm here for you.
И тогда в какой-то момент придется сказать, я здесь для тебя, Кришна.
So this is related something to the verse.
Как-то это связано было со стихом.
Oh, yeah. So Advaita it's fire and it's the cooling moon.
То есть Адвайта, с одной стороны, это огонь, а с другой стороны, это успокаивающий.
But it's actually one energy.
Но это одна и та же энергия.
It depends on your consciousness.
И зависит это от нашего сознания.
Everything is God's mercy.
Все является милостью Бога.
It's us that bring the distress.
Но это мы, которые приносим страдания.
And I told this story, I think the last time,
Помните, может быть, в последней лекции я уже рассказывала эту историю.
about this commentary on the first verse of the Shikshastakam.
О комментарии на первый стих Шикшастаки.
And it says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Maha Devagni. It extinguishes the fire of material existence. So the commentator said, what is this fire of material existence? And then he told the story of this faithful disciple
И он рассказал историю о верном ученике.
And the guru was doing the Agnihotra, the Swaha,
И
Swaha.
гуру, он совершал огненные жертвоприношения, сваха.
And he told his disciple,
И сказал своему ученику:
at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning,
завтра в 7 утра,
at the auspicious time,
благоприятное время,
or I think it was 9 o'clock in the morning at the auspicious
или
time,
9 утра, благоприятное время,
I must begin the Agnihotra.
я должен начать эту огнехотру.
You go get me some fire.
Он говорит: а ты пойди найди мне дрова.
I mean, there's special wood and
На
you,
самом деле особенные ранее.
but it was a little damp in the morning,
Но утром было свежо,
so he couldn't find the fire.
и поэтому он эти дрова не мог найти, деревяшки.
So he said to the disciple came back,
Ученик вернулся,
said, Gurudev,
сказал Гурудев:
I couldn't find any fire.
ничего найти не смог.
Now the guru was a little bit of an angry type.
А его гуру немножко такой был,
He was very pure,
он был чистый, но легко
but
раздражался.
we all have our natures.
У нас у всех свои качества.
So he looked at the disciple,
Он посмотрел на своего
He said,
ученика,
go to hell.
говорит: в аду тебе гореть.
And the disciple was so faithful,
А его ученик был настолько верным,
he went to hell
что пошел в ад,
and he was very happy
был очень рад там.
because he saw everybody, there was so much fire, everybody was
Огонь, там
burning.
сколько дров.
My guru is so,
И он говорит: мой гуру такой добрый.
so he asked
И
Yamaraj,
поэтому ученик попросил Ямараджа,
he said, you mind if I take some fire?
он говорит: можно я немножко огня у вас одолжу?
Yamaraj said, there's no fire here.
Ямарадж говорит: а у нас огня нету.
He said, what do you mean there's no fire here?
Ну что ты имеешь в виду? Посмотри, здесь все горит.
Look.
Вот.
Oh, he said, oh, they brought their own
Он
fire.
говорит: они со своим пришли.
So the point is,
И на самом деле идея в том,
it's not that Advaita Ācārya is like fire.
это не значит, что Адвайта Ācārya он подобен огню.
We bring our own fire.
Мы со своим приходим.
One who becomes unhappy
Тот, кто несчастлив,
what happened here? 1 second. Okay. Even if one does not know the glories of Shiva,
даже если человек не знает о славе Шивы,
simply by chanting his name once,
просто повторив его имя однажды,
one will be immediately purified of all sinful reactions.
человек очистится от всех греховных последствий.
This is the verdict of Vedic literatures and Srimad
Это
Bhagavatam.
вердикт всех ведических писаний, включая Шримад Бхагаватам.
One who becomes unhappy on hearing the name of Shiva
Тот, кто не рад, услышав имя Шивы,
floats in an ocean of inauspiciousness.
будет плыть по океану неблагоприятностей.
I remember when I first came here in May of to Vrindavan in May of 1974,
Я помню, первый раз я приехала в Вриндаван в мае 1974 года,
right in the middle of the summer,
прямо посреди лета.
with heat I could not even imagine.
Тут такая была жара, я себе представить не мог, что она существует.
And at that time in Vrindavan,
В то время во Вриндаване
for the whole of Raman Reti,
по всему Рамана-Рети
there was only one electrical transformer.
был один столб электрический на весь район.
And there wasn't enough electricity to keep it going all the time.
Недостаточно было напряжения, чтобы электричество было все время.
So you get a few hours a day.
И мы получали где-то несколько часов в день.
But in the middle of the summer,
И прямо посреди этого лета,
even when the fan was on,
даже когда вентилятор работал,
there was no air conditioning.
Понятно, кондиционеров тогда не было.
There was no filtered water.
Фильтрованной воды бутилированной тоже не было.
Devotees didn't have money.
Денег у преданных тоже не было.
We didn't go out and buy lassis and
Лассы не покупали,
nimbu pani.
и лимки мы не покупали.
That's why I think Burijan Prabhu mentioned that one Prabhupada disappearance festival.
Однажды Гуридžan Прабhu, наверное, по этой причине, на одном из фестивалей Дня ухода Шрилы Прабхупады,
that
он
the,
сказал,
that the devotees who come now
что преданные, которые сейчас приезжают в Вриндаван
with unimaginable opulence,
с непередаваемым богатством,
according to our standards before,
по сравнению с теми стандартами, которые были раньше,
they should be grateful
то эти преданные должны быть благодарны
to the pioneers
пионерам,
who came and developed this
которые
place
приехали тогда и построили все то, что есть сейчас.
with so many austerities.
И столько аскезы они пережили.
It says, so I remember we didn't know anything.
Мы тогда вообще еще ничего не знали.
I didn't know what parikram was.
Я даже не знала, что такое парикрам.
We never went out. I remember the first time I went on parikram.
Знаете, когда я первый раз на парикрам пошел?
Radhanath Swami
Дhanurdhara Swami
hadn't been back to Vrindavan since he left. You know, when he first came, he left to Vrindavan. And then when he left, there was no Krishna Balaram Mandir.
Когда Дhanurdhara Swami первый раз пришел в Вриндаван, потом уехал, тогда еще храма Кришны Баларама не было.
And then he walked into the Krishna Balaram Mandir.
А потом, когда он вернулся, то он вошел в храм
I
Кришны
think he
Баларама.
came by train to Mathura
Я помню, что он приехал на поезде в Мадхуру
and walked along the bank of the Jamuna
и по берегу Ямуны пришел в Вриндаван.
and walked into the Krishna Balaram Mandir.
Вошел в Кришна Баларам, храм Кришны
Never
Баларама.
saw it before.
Он никогда раньше его не видел.
And the first thing he said to me was very significant.
И первая вещь, которую он мне сказал, увидев меня,
It showed that he really knew the essence of Vrindavan
это показатель того, что он действительно понял суть Вриндавана.
from living there for so many years.
Потому что он столько лет до этого там прожил.
The first thing he said,
Первое, что он мне сказал,
is there any service for me?
есть ли для меня служение?
And then I remember a little bit after he settled in,
После того, как он уже обустроился,
he said, let's go on Parikram.
он говорит, давай на парикраму пойдем.
I said, where are we going?
А я говорю, куда?
He says, I don't know.
Он говорит, я не знаю.
We'll just do kirtan
Мы просто киртан.
and see where the holy
Пойдем,
name
и
takes
куда
us.
нас приведет святое имя.
Very austere in those days.
Было очень аскетично в то время.
So one who becomes unhappy on hearing, now, okay, I get back, now I understand what I was trying to say. I'll do it in a second. I'm going to finish right
Сейчас
now.
я понимаю, что я хотела сказать.
I didn't know anything about Krishna consciousness.
Я еще тогда о сознании Кришны ничего не знал,
So when I walked by a temple of Lord Shiva
поэтому, когда мимо храма Господа Шивы я
or
проходила,
Lord Durga,
или Дурги,
I thought that was the enemy
я подумала, что это наши враги,
because we were Krishna devotees.
потому что мы преданные Кришны.
So now I'm finding out
А сейчас вот здесь написано,
that I was an ocean of inauspiciousness.
что это океан неблагоприятных вещей.
Okay. I'll continue now for about another 20 minutes or so, but the translation will stop.
Продолжать еще 20, если хотите, вы можете остаться, но мне нужно.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande.
Srila Dhanurdhara Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
jai.
Okay. You can stay with your husband, and after I'll give a book, okay? Why, yeah, I got my books. Oh, Hare Krishna. How nice. Look, come sit here. Sit here. Say hello to the people. Can you say hello? Okay. And she gave me a beautiful gift. You see that? You drew that yourself? Yeah? How nice. What is your name? What? Vishaka? This is Vishaka, and she lives in Mayapur. And how long do you live in Mayapur? 7 months? And where are you from? Where? Russia. Where in Russia? Okay. Okay, thank you. That's a beautiful gift. Can you come to my class Saturday? Yes? Okay, Yugla. I gotta bring her some prasadam or something on Saturday. Okay, thank you, Vishaka. Your daughter? Wow, what a beautiful daughter. My God. Okay. And she sat for the whole class, listening very attentively. Okay. Okay. Okay, you can come up closer because there's only two of you now. So I can give you this information because even I'm out, I give these classes. Here it would be the same time when I'm in India. It'd be 6 to 7 on Wednesday and 6:30 to 7:30. So if you're free. And but you know, Mayapur, I'm just telling the people here, it's really just I went. I tell you, every day I'm invited someplace. So yesterday, I was invited to this place called War Village. And if you go from Mayapur on the bank of the Jalangi, I would walk to a place called Rasamrita Kunj, which is probably nicer than the MBT. That's where, yeah. So, and Ranjan Swami stays there. I go for lunch at least twice, something. But this couple that I know, Kontia, he's Italian, and his wife is Radha Govinda, and she's a Brahmin family from Udupi. She's very brilliant. So they invited me for prasadam, and that's even further. I mean, I think if I walked there, it would take me like, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour. But what they did is they divide, you know, because they went so far out. I'm talking to some people here too. They divided up land into like 100, like, I don't know, 5-acre plots or 2-acre plots. And when you go in, there's already brick roads, and it's like they did it the way it should have been done here. And I saw Krishna-katha Maharaj has a little house, and Bhanu Swami, and mostly Grihastas have different houses there. And it's beautiful. It's the way, you know, it should have been developed. So what's happening is, because around the temple, you know, they built all these high rises and things. Out there, it's beautiful. And the house was, because she's South Indian, it was built according to Vastu. So the center of the house is open and they have a garden. And yeah, so it's nice communities here. A lot of things for children are here. That's nice. This little girl, Vishaka, was beautiful. And like, look at this picture she drew for me. My God. That's a picture of me. Wow. That's pretty accurate, isn't it? Is that really what I look like? My God. Wait, what's the thing next to me? Okay. So we will continue here. My dear father, you are committing the greatest offense. Now it's quoted from the Daksha Yagya, where Sati marries Lord Shiva and Daksha is not satisfied. And Sati, you know, Lord Shiva won't go because he's insulted, but the wife wanting the social life and the family goes, and then you know, her husband's insulted. So this is a verse, I guess, must be from the Bhagavatam. My dear father, you are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name consists of two syllables. Shi and Va purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. Lord Shiva is always pure. No one but him envies him. Alas, you are the personification of inauspiciousness. So, see, the problem with Lord Shiva is not Lord Shiva, it's followers who don't accept really a very personal view. And they it's kind of impersonal. And then therefore they think that Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna, etc., they're all kind of material manifestations of the mode of good. That they, somehow or other, those who worship Lord Shiva are impersonalists. And therefore, they don't accept the personality of Godhead. And that's the issue, not the position of Lord Shiva, which I foolishly made. Glad I didn't say anything or do anything, but my mind didn't really understand. Lord Krishna-chandra declared with his own mouth, why would anyone who does not worship Shiva worship me? So if you disrespect Shiva, then you're not going to understand Krishna either. It's not that Shiva is Krishna, but Vaishnavam Yata Shambhu, he is the greatest devotee. Mora priya Shiva pati anadaraya ke mate va more bhakti hoye be tahar. How can a person who disrespects my dear Shiva attain my devotional service? How can a sinful person who is envious of the Vaishnavas attain devotional service if he does not respectfully worship my dear devotee, Lord Shiva? Therefore, one should first worship Lord Krishna, then after worship Lord Shiva with love, he should worship all the demigods. So you worship Krishna. When you worship Krishna, you understand the value of his devotees and you worship his devotees. And if you don't worship his devotees, then you don't understand Krishna, because Krishna is in the heart of his devotees. And I read this back, and I think it was a very significant point. It described if you worship Krishna in the temple and disrespect the devotees, it's kind of like a hypocrisy. Your worship becomes hypocrisy, because it would be like a couple who they're respectful in public, and then when they get in private, they abuse each other. So what is that respect in public? It's hypocrisy. So the same thing, because worshiping God in private is seeing God in the heart of his devotees. And if you disrespect the devotees, you're disrespecting Krishna. So that's really the point. In Skanda Purana, it is stated, first one should worship Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cause of all causes. Then one should worship Maheśa, the best of the demigods. Thereafter, one should worship all the demigods with full devotion. Because of Lord Chaitanya's indication, Advaita is accepted by saintly persons as that Shiva. Ignorant people who disagree with this fact cannot understand Advaita's glories and are therefore vanquished. I am unable to describe the unlimited varieties of new cloth that the Lord saw. So now he's going back, because the reason this was mentioned was because Lord Chaitanya was amazed by this festival. Then he said, okay, only God could arrange this, only someone at the level of Advaita. Now it's going back after that point to, wow, Vrindavan Das Thakur is unable to describe the variety of cloth that was given in gifts, that was worshiping the deities. The Lord was greatly pleased to see the arrangements And he continually praised Advaita Ācārya because he was worshiping Madhavendra Puri. That's why it's an interesting thing that eating can be a service in that sense. Like you go to someone's birthday and you say, I don't want any birthday cake. You just eat a little. It's like the enjoyment is the celebration. So there's a certain opulence in that way. After seeing every one of the arrangements, the Lord returned to where the Sankirtan was being performed. As soon as the Lord came to the place of the Sankirtan, all the devotees there became filled with ecstasy. So they're already in ecstasy because they're all chanting the holy name together, and then Lord Caitanya joins them. And who can describe the way that the devotees danced, sang, played instruments, and ran about in ecstasy? So Nityera Madhurya, Lord Nityananda's dancing is described as very sweet because it's a manifestation of his heart, which is full of devotion. And the devotees here, this is not a manifestation of passion. The tempo in kirtan, the bhava should precede the tempo. If the tempo precedes the bhava, then it's born of the mode of passion. So generally, good kirtan is described as shanai. Shanai means gradually. It builds up. The cowboy's kirtan is described as shanai, gradually. It builds up gradually and gradually and gradually. When it comes to this point, it's quite wild, but it's being the engine is the bhakti, not the mode of passion. So he's describing this. Everyone exclaimed Jai, Jai as they chanted the name of Hari. Nothing can be heard other than chant Haribo, Haribo. Bala, Bala, Hari, Bala, Ara, Nahi, Shune. Nothing but that. The bodies of all the Vaishnavas were decorated with sandalwood pulp, and their attractive chests were adorned with flower garlands. So the devotees were worshipped. So in the decorations of the devotees, you see the love of Krishna and love of the devotees. They were all intimate associates of the Lord. Sabe Prabhur Parishadera Pradhan, Shaba Nitya Gita Kari Prabhu Vidyaman. They danced and sang in the company of the Lord. Mahanande Utila Shri Hari Sankirtan Yedwani Pavitra Kori Ananta Bhuvana. The sound vibration of the ecstatic congregational chanting of the glories of the Lord purified the entire universe. Nityananda Maha Mala Prema Shuka Moy Bali Bhave Nitya Kadalain Atisha. Nityananda, who is like a wrestler and who was filled with happiness of ecstatic love, danced widely in the mood of a child. Vivalahoy Ati Ācārya Gosai Yate Nitya Kadalena Tari Antanai. Advaita Ācārya was overwhelmed with ecstasy as he danced without stop. Nachalena Aneka Takora Haridas Sabe Nachena Ati Pai Ulas. The Kaur Haridas danced in many different ways as everyone danced joyfully. So the movements express the heart, the voice expressed the heart, and the heart is love. So just seeing that or participating in that. Mahaprabhu Sri Gaurasundar Sarvasesha Nitya Karilena Ati Adesha Vishesha. Eventually, Gaurashund Mahaprabhu began dancing in unlimited ways. So then Lord Caitanya became inspired in unlimited ways, just because there's bhava and there's emotions. Sarva Parishad Prabhu Agi Nachal Sesha Nitya Karena Apane Shabeloy. After first inducing all of his devotees to dance, the Lord finally began dancing along with everyone. The devotees danced in groups, And Mahaprabhu Sri Sachinandana danced in the middle. After dancing and singing throughout the day, Mahaprabhu sat down with everyone. Advaita Ācārya then took permission from the Lord and went to make all the arrangements for eating. Mahaprabhu sat down in the middle to eat, and all the devotees sat around him. The Lord in the middle appeared as effulgent as millions of moons, and the devotees around him appeared surrounding like stars. So this is like what it's described in the Bhagavatam when the cowherd boys are sitting around Krishna. It becomes like the whirl of a lotus. And it was very beautiful and very happy. Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness should be like that. It's beautiful because it's when there's love, you're offering the best. So the food is beautiful, the flowers are beautiful, the devotees are beautiful. So it's just a very wonderful scene. And then at the same time, because on the ultimate level, God is beyond time and space. So somehow or other, he can sit in the middle, and every single person could be facing him and having a personal relationship with God. Because he did by our. And I mentioned before, that's why it's so difficult sometimes to describe things like the origin of God and the origin of bhakti, and because they happen in a place that's beyond our dimensions, and we only have the facility of our dimensions to actually explain them. So therefore, it's very, very limited. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you try to too much intellectually understand inconceivable things, it'll lead to an artist. And we see that it happens when people discuss that. Then it becomes divisive of what group one says and what another group says. And it just leads to an artist. It's just, as the Lord ate with all the devotees, he continually narrated the glories of Madhavendra Puri, because it was Madhavendra Puri's appearance day. So Lord Chaitanya was explaining it. The Lord says, if one honors the prasad that has been offered during the appearance of the festival of Sri Madhavendra Puri, he will attain the devotional service of Govinda. After joyfully finishing his meal in this way, the Lord washed his hands and mouth and sat down. Advaita then brought fragrant sandalwood pulp and beautiful garlands before the Lord. The Lord then first affectionately offered sandalwood pulp and a flower garland to Nityananda Sarup. Thereafter, the Lord personally offered sandalwood pulp and a flower garland to each and every Vaishnava. When I went to this Gore village, this house was just so, beautiful. I don't know. It looked like it was made it looked like cow dung at the outside, but it was just so beautiful. But when I came in, when I came in, I'm going to lose. Let's see how much I got. I'm probably going to lose the power here soon. Let me see how much I have. Okay. Oh, I have enough. Okay. Because she's from a South Indian Brahmin family, and this, which was very hard for her to join because her families were Muslim. Her mother didn't speak to her for 5 years when she got married to a Westerner, she told me. Although her father came to the wedding in Mayapur. So there was like, ooh, it was that kind of thing. And then I came, and flowers were thrown at my feet. And then there was like this, I don't know, lamp when I came in, and then I sat in, and there was some prabhu that washed my feet. No, they had that kind of culture, and then I talked to them for a while. And then, I was with some prabhu, but she picked me up in one of those auto rickshaws and she drove me back. So it was kind of a nice, the culture, but like, so I think some elevated people, they have the culture, but they're kind of very practical. So I was riding in this thing and because my name is Dhanurdhara, which is Arjuna, I said, then if this is like, you must be like Krishna, Radha Govinda driving the chariot. And I'm just like, and then she told the prabhu to get out because it was a new car. The first time she got it. So I was the first one to ride it. So she told him to, get out and take a picture of Maharaj in the chariot. When that chariot car, I said, oh my God, that's all I need. I'm writing it, because he got out to take the pictures. The picture would be me sitting in the chariot of this beautiful lady driving it. And I just thought, oh my God, this is what happens in this modern world. But she said, no, this is just to show my. Her husband wasn't there, so he was out preaching or something. He was in another country. But, she had this prabhu. It was very nice. When the devotees received these items from the hands of the Lord, their hearts became filled with ecstasy, because what is love? Love is giving and loving is accepting. Loving is also accepting. It's not just giving, it's accepting in a loving way. So dadati pritagrinati, you give gifts, you accept gifts. Guyamajachi prichati, you teach, you learn, you inquire, you explain. Bhumte bhojyata, you give prasadam, you accept prasadam. It's this culture is what really nourishes us. And anyway, I'm the Maharaj. I don't think there's, I don't know any other Prabhupada disciples. And yet when I walk to this place, the culture here is, first of all, a lot of people have these motorbikes. And you see ladies drive the motorbike, they stop the motorbike, they get off, they pay obeisances. It's a very nice culture. They're happy to see, a Prabhupada disciple or sannyasi. So it's a kind of a beautiful. And then I got a tour of the TOBP. He's a very good friend of mine, Sadhbhuj. How this person has put this up is just amazing, because it's inconceivable, the complexity of it. But there's different, usually from the former Soviet Union, there's these incredible artists. They have Bengalis are very expert at these dioramas. And even Shivaram Swami said he's never seen dioramas like this. There's going to be, because they're three-dimensional, because they're up high, so no one can break them. They're three-dimensional. And these Russian artists are painting them according to the Shastra, the different colors of the different cowherd boys and the thing. It was quite, there was no end to the greatest ecstasy, for the Lord of Vaikuntha was personally present in his home. How can a human being have the power to describe all these pastimes of the Supreme Lord? Even in millions of years, no one could describe the pastimes that the Lord performed in one day. So I just finish up with 5 minutes with the people saying hello. And then I'd like to give you some of my books, since you couldn't carry any from Australia. Right? Oh, New Zealand, right? 1 second, view. Okay, let me just see. Anybody would like to just say hello quickly?
Haribol Maharaj.
Let's go. Yeah, Jamuna Jaya, go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for class. I was just, ever since you mentioned that you were writing a book or thinking about writing a book about how the Caitanya-bhāgavata is really such a good guide for Vaishnava behavior. I've been every class, I'm thinking, yes, I can't wait for you to write it, because even here today, there's so many clues about how we should conduct ourselves. you know, by the giving, the receiving, the festival, the way we think of Lord Shiva. So thank you so much. It's just such a good like checklist of
I'm gonna
how
do
we
it on
should be behaving.
Caitanya-bhāgavata, but it's the same thing. Maybe I'll do it on Caitanya-bhāgavata too. Okay, Jamunajaya, thank you.
Thank you, Raj.
Okay, anybody else like to say hello today?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Kinchana Bhakta here.
Hey, Kinshana, yes.
I appreciated a couple of, thank you for the class. I appreciate all of it, but two things really stuck out for me. I wrote down what you said about the importance of service, and that in devotional service, we put our body where we want our minds to go. That's one for a pin, Jamunajaya. And then another thing I wanted to say was that I love all of your stories, but I've listened to enough of your classes that I sometimes know what's coming. And the one about Radhanath Swami coming and asking, is there any service, is like, for me, it was like when you go to your favorite rock concert and you know the line that everybody's going to shout out, like I heard it coming and I was so excited for it. And then you said it and I was, so thank you.
Okay,
Is there any
thank you.
service?
Regards to your family. Best of the new year.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, anybody else say hello today?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hey, Girma, good.
So nice to hear you.
Good, good. Did that Surya Radhika get in touch with you yet?
Yes, we've been sending messages through WhatsApp.
Okay, why don't you'll talk to her personally. It's interesting, right?
Yeah, we'll talk more. Thank you.
Okay, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you so much for.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yudhisthira in Dallas. Hare Krishna.
Hey, Yudhisthira, Haribo.
Haribo. Thank you so much.
Great to see you. Haribo. Took lunch today at Radhacharan's today.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. He's doing okay?
Oh, he's doing great. He's just in separation from China.
I know. I know.
His preaching is unbelievable. You know, he's quiet about it, but what he's doing is phenomenal. The name he's yeah.
We're overdue for a call to catch up. So thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, remind. He'd love to hear from you. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Lal Govinda.
And Braja, Hare Krishna.
Hey, Haribo.
Haribo, thank you for class.
Raja, don't you think he looks handsome in his beard?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, do you like it?
I'm not supposed to be for beards. I'm supposed to be for shaving, but with me, so I can't really lay down the law. Okay. But you know, your friend Surya Radhika, she's trying to get back to study in Mayapur.
Oh.
The Bhakti Shastri, it's very nice. Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
Great to see both of you, and I'm looking
Yes,
forward to like coming back.
Yes, we can't wait.
Gloria, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for class.
Gloria, okay. Gloria, Haribo, speak up louder.
I'm sorry. Thank you for class.
Okay, I'm coming to Colombia. You'll come to the retreat?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay, that's great. I'm trying to, COVID, and I'm doing Govardhan. I'm trying to get enough people for the retreat in Colombia, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Okay, I'm going to send something out now. Okay, great. Haribo.
Haribo.
Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Sri Rupa.
Sri Rupa, Haribo.
Are you coming to New York?
What?
Are you coming to New York?
I'll come to New York for 1 week at the end of March. Then I'll go to Colombia for a month. And then I'll be back in New York for the summer, yeah.
Will you be able to do a program upstate?
That's what I want to do when I get back, but it's the weekend of Gaur Purnima, so I don't know if they'll be free that weekend. And if not, I'll do something in Jai Shri Radhe's or something, you know.
Okay,
for
wonderful.
sure. Okay, great. Anybody else want to say hello?
Hare
Krishna Gurudev is Vraja Devi. Thank you for the
Vraja-
class.
Okay, Vraja Devi, in 2022, you have to visit Govardhan.
I really hope so. That's the plan for Kartik.
Okay.
Yes.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll go. Vanchukalpa Turubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhava Chapati Bhavati.